everyone, and welcome. You're listening to DTSE Talks, the place to be to learn more and explore the life in Magenta. You wonder what's going on in the company? Where do we excel and what's our lessons learned? Join me as I delve into the life in DTSE and interview employees as well as guests to answer all your questions. I'm your host, Umayma Buswab, and today I welcome you to the new podcast series, the DTSErs, where we shed a light on the people of our DTSE locations one at a time. You or your colleagues have an interesting story that you want to share? Get in touch with me and let's get you the spotlight you deserve. Our first episode of the DTSErs series takes place in Brno, Czech Republic, where I interview Michelangelo Ischia and Lucie Satrapová to learn and get inspired from their journey as one of the most engaged and active people in our Czech location. So without further ado, let's get started. Our first guest today is Michelangelo Ischia. He's the communication specialist in DTSE Czech Republic. Michelangelo, you're one of the first DTSers who I'm going to interview today, so I'm happy that you're here with me.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me here. And I look forward to this conversation with you.
Great. So before we start, I would like to know a little bit more about you and also the audience to know a little bit more about you. So how did you come here to Czech Republic?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I actually started my journey abroad 8 years ago. Firstly, I completed my studies in Vienna. After that, I moved for 1 year in Bratislava. And after that, I went back to Vienna, where I spent a couple of years. And after that, it came Brno. So actually, it seems that I like the Central Eastern part of Europe. And I came to Brno 4 years ago, and I really like it here. It's a really cool city.
Interesting. So you settled in Brno at the end. That's interesting. And how about your job? So you're a communication specialist. What kind of tasks are you doing in this position?
Yes, I'm basically very flexible when it comes to tasks. I'm taking care of both internal and external communication. And external communication involves a lot of HR marketing and employer branding. So mostly we have there as a target potential candidates. So we have to sell to them our company as a workplace, as a cool workplace. And on the other side, I'm working on internal communication, meaning covering all channels to make sure that the informations are properly cascaded to our employees. So whether it's intranet, emails, or displays, or any other digital channel that we implement, that's also part of my job. And I'm also very passionate about technologies. So I'm also product owner of our chatbot for internal communication. Yeah, great. That's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you about, because I know that you're doing mostly communication. So you're the specialist in communication, but I also know that you're involved in many, many other projects like the chatbot. So, and what are your interests and hobbies, Miki? When it comes to hobbies, I really like to learn new things. This is why one of my favorite guiding principles is stay curious and grow. And I'm really happy that the company is promoting this learning environment. So I actually use my free time to study new technologies and get closer to even new applications or new platforms. And for me, it's also important to be able to implement, what I learn into the real life, into the work life. And I'm also passionate about chatbots. And I really think that chatbots can be added value for the internal communication, especially. So I spend, for example, a lot of time to search for new use cases, and this is one of my favorite hobbies. Apart from that, I really enjoy walks in nature and take out my dog for walks and reading books. Interesting. So
You have interest in hobbies, so you had also the chance to apply this what you learned from your hobbies and implement them in the communication work, right?
That's correct. And the journey with chatbots actually started 2 years ago for our company, and I think it's a never-ending journey. And that's what I really like, that chatbot is something that can grow, can learn. And actually, I strongly believe that a chatbot can do multiple things. So we can really talk in these cases of really this virtual assistant that are able to provide multiple services to employees. So I'm not just talking about chatbots that can just answer questions. But for example, in our case, we implemented this booking system. So I really think the chatbots can do more.
Yeah, and it makes it it makes your life easier as an employee. So you don't have to really click a lot on here and there and try to find information here and there. You just ask check, and check answers you, and it's quite simple. So you also have some other ideas about chatbots because you're one of the Innovation Zone finalists and winners, right?
Yes, that was really, really great to win. I have to say, I applied together with our colleague Michal, who is the technical brain behind our chatbot. And what I also would like to add before I describe the use cases we will be working on, I would also add that it's a little bit easier, for me to come up with these new use cases, because as part of my job in the communication department, I have the chance to really talk to our colleagues. So I'm able to catch what works, what doesn't work, which pain do they have with some processes. And at the same time, I can always check out some new technology on the market and try to get some match, to see which problems can actually be solved. And the similar approach was for the innovation zone. So I was always looking at which processes are currently not really working and what is taking a lot of time, for the employees.
So what are these cases that you came up with this time with the Innovation Zone program?
Yes. In this case, we wanted to add new services to the chatbot. And the idea is that I will give you an example. Thinking you want to apply for a certain benefit, but you can generalize to any application form. And you need, for example, as a user, to go to an intranet, download that form, then fill it in, save it, and then send it, for example, to a functional mailbox. And you see there are already some manual steps that I was mentioning. And in this case, our idea is that the user can have directly a conversation with the chatbot, and basically the chatbot will pack those informations and send them directly to a functional mailbox. So there is here a reduction of these manual steps for the employee. A similar case is actually what we like to call the delivery guy. Basically, it is a similar approach. You as a user are not looking for a specific file anymore on the internet, but you can ask the chatbot to get this file delivered to your inbox. And the last use cases is about the recommendation system. This is, for example, something that we are building in a very generic way, meaning that each owner of chatbot can use it to recommend whatever he or she wants. So for example, we have in mind that the chatbot could recommend online courses. For example, I'm a user and I would like to learn a specific skill. So I could, for example, even in this case, have a conversation with the chatbot. Let's say I want to learn PowerPoint. So I can have a conversation with the chatbot about my level, about my graphic skills, or even about how much time I want to invest into learning.
So based on all of these, the chatbot just recommends some trainings to you?
Yes, that's
Cool.
exactly it. So we want to offer some really tailored recommendation. Yeah. But for example, also another use case we have in mind when it comes to recommendation is connected to the fact that we in our company are producing a lot of presentations. Yeah. And I can imagine that sometimes colleagues are lacking of creativity for that.
Or maybe time.
Or time.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you don't have time.
that's also another important aspect, which is a main driver also of our use cases. And basically, in even this case, you can have a conversation with the chatbot and maybe specify for what you need the presentation. I don't know. You are introducing a new product, or you are presenting a new project from scratch, or you just need to give a project update. So there can be different scenarios. So even in this case, the chatbot can basically get those informations from the user and submit a PowerPoint template, and the user really just needs to fill in the data. But as I said before, just one last thing, we will build these use cases in a very generic way. Yeah, so we want that every chatbot owner in our company can customize them to own needs.
That's cool that everyone can also use your solution.
Yes, that is the main goal actually of our project. We want to create knowledge, and also from a technical point of view, we want to create some infrastructure that can easily be duplicated, for example, by a colleague anywhere in Germany, in Slovakia, or in Romania. And once this IT infrastructure is duplicated, then the owner can customize, for example, dialogues, or can customize what to recommend. So the main driver of our idea is to create knowledge and basically share it among our locations.
That's cool, because life is for sharing.
That's correct.
Great. So, yeah, you mentioned a few of the projects that you worked on, and you also mentioned that your curiosity kind of drives you to find ideas, right? So I know that you're working on all of these projects. Plus, last year you won an award, 2 awards, right, for 2 different categories in projects, and you're kind of always coming up with new ideas. So how do you manage to find new ideas on a regular basis, and also to stay motivated to really get it done? Because whatever idea you bring up, I know that you end up always getting it done. How do you manage?
I think there is a lot of motivation behind to simplify or help the life of the work life of our colleagues. I think that really by talking to people, you really get to know what is not working for them. So I think the main source of inspiration is feedback. Yeah, that most of the time it doesn't need to be a direct feedback on communication itself, but while talking with employees, you really get to know what they are thinking in general, what they are feeling about a certain process or something. Yeah, so I think that is really inspirational. Yeah, and on the other side, there is this willingness, to support them and to try to create something for them. Because on the other side, whatever it's created for me is for our employees, right? So that's my main driver. Yeah, and to get it done, I think is the passion that is behind. And when I start something, I don't really like to just leave it half done. So I rather prefer that an idea or the implementation of the idea would take 2-3 months longer, but at least you have it done. So actually, what I really like also about my job is that during the year I do have my regular tasks, but each year there is either one, depends, but sometimes even 2, 3 main projects. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what I really like. Yeah, that you can even switch between like regular tasks and let's call them major projects. But everything is of course important. Yeah. So I think this switching and flexibility, of course, that my job is offering me. Yeah, that's really great.
That's nice, and you can also have this, liberty or freedom to create new projects and start new projects. And it's also nice to have every year, as you said, something new, so you're not kind of like bored with the same tasks every year, right?
Yes, but I would also say that this is possible because of the culture and company mindset that we have here in Brno.
That's true. There's the flexibility and also the support of the team leaders and the support of the managers in general. You know that they're always behind you, and if they want to start a project, they always believe in you, and that's also cool.
Yes, and this goes hand in hand, I think, with on one side you see the pleasure, let's say, of the employee to really bring something that he or she is really interested on, is passionate about. But this goes also hand in hand with accountability. Yeah, so I think that's the right approach. That you have some flexibility and some possibility to bring new ideas, and of course, then you are accountable for it. So I think this sense of being responsible is also very important.
Great, Miki. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us and also how you get motivated. Aside of all of this, I just wanted to mention that you also created the Ambassadors Initiative, and you're also part of the digitalization community. So I'm proud to be your colleague, and I thank you again for coming here and giving your time today. Thank you, Miki.
Thank you again.
Our second guest for today is Lucie Satrapová. She is a data analyst of the digitalization team here in DTSECZ, and she joined us for our first DTSErs series. Hi, Lucia. Thank you for being here.
Hi, May. Thank you for having me.
It's such a good thing to do here to have some colleagues from Czech Republic, so I'm very excited to talk to my close colleagues today. You're one of them, so first of all, I wanted to just give you the platform to say a bit about your work and your task as a data analyst in the team here in Czech Republic.
Okay, so actually, I work as a data analyst for 3 months now. Actually, so I started working on full time since March.
Oh, you're new! Yay!
Actually, yeah. Like tomorrow, I'm celebrating my 1 year anniversary. But as a full timer, I will be part of the team. I'm part of the team just for the 3 months. And now my full time job is data analyst, which my main responsibility is to somehow like create or adjust existing reports that we have for our internal customers to give them some kind of insights into their processes. We also focus on process mining, and we are trying to detect gaps in the processes and places where we can improve via automatization, let's say, which is also another part of our department. And just supporting my business analyst and trying to give these insights to our customers, I would say. That's the main part of my job.
And how did you get to this position? What interested you or inspired you to join this team?
Actually, that's a kind of cool story because I was also affected by Corona last year, and I lost my job. So I was trying to find a new one, and I somehow came across this offer, and it was digitalization team intern, and part of it was data analyst, and part of it was more of like creative job. So I was really interested not only in the creative part, but since I also had some subject in my university studies that focused on data analysis and visualization using R language and using programs as Power BI, which I found really interesting. So I was, why not to try that? And somehow I guess I made an impression and I got the job. And since that I joined the team, and I was mainly focusing, I would say, on the administrative part and the creative part in the team, like organizing some events and just administrative part. And then I also got more and more into the data analysis, which then became the main part of my job. So I guess that was like really interesting, because I actually studied adult education, and I had just one subject that focused on data analysis and visualization, and it somehow really got my interest, I would say. And that's the reason how I basically got there, because I just found it really interesting.
So you have quite a different background from what you're doing now, and you mentioned that you needed a bit of creativity. So your interest must be a little bit on the creative side, or?
Well, actually, it was. I'm also like in charge of creating various like PowerPoint presentation, and I am kind of trying to push the team activities a bit further. So I think I need to be creative on this side, because like I don't want to repeat all the events all over, I would say. So the creativity is used mainly in the digitalization intern workload, I would say. And for the data analysis, it's like also probably about being creative, because somehow you need to display something, some KPIs, and you need to think about the way how to create the formula so you get the information that you need and that it works properly. So like sometimes you need to think about really different way how to get the data than you would normally use, because like there are of course some limitations of the program that we are using, and it's not always that easy to display something.
So you see that there's a link between data analysts and creativity that you can use there. That's good. Nice. Yeah. And so what are your creative sides aside from what you do in the intern job?
Yeah, yes. Like the other part, as I said, I am like I like to call myself team cheerleader, because
nice.
I like to create opportunities for the people from the team to gather, get together, have some fun together, because it's important for us to grow as a team. I would say, especially during Corona times when it also was not that easy. But I can see that as we are cooperating, we are also like building our personal relationships, and we can I exactly know what I can rely on. Like most of our team, I can rely on anyone, I would say. So it's like really nice that I think we are like one big family, and the work and the personal life, I would say, is like more connected than it was before, for me at least, I would say. So I try to be creative in creating, organizing these events, so everybody is like interested. And I also like to make things nice, I would say. So I'm trying to always do the things like really, I would say
the best way.
the best way, I would say, that they appear really nice, and it like draw the attention of my team, that I know that they will, for example, read the meeting minutes because they look nice. So
that's nice. So you're kind of like the happiness officer of your team. That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. And I know that you're involved in DTSECZ in many other activities. So, for example, you and your colleague Jakub Kohut, right? You prepared some really amazing things for your team. Can you talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah. Actually, it started because maybe to give you a little bit of background, we are like in our team, we are using Slack platform, and there is the choice or the app, let's say, that is called Donut, and we started to use this like integration, because during Corona time, when we were calling like with each other, it was usually just because like of the work matters, and since a lot of us joined like mid-Corona crisis, let's say, they knew their colleagues only like work related, let's say, and somebody was like complaining that they don't know what their colleagues are like on personal level, I would say. So this actually is the Slack integration donut is like matching randomly people, and they are talking to each other. But since we started using that and we kind of got to know each other within the team, we were like thinking, and how about to make it even bigger? Like the idea was actually from my team lead Katka Hlošková, and she came up with this idea that it might be really good to spread it onto the whole company, and asked Jakub and me to somehow try to find a way how to do that. So Jakub is the one who develops the code that is randomly matching people who are signed up. And I would say that I'm more on the PR side, and like I said, like the creative side, like creating the logo and writing the text of the emails. And together we are trying to push it even further, like thinking about new things that we can do, which you can look forward to during summertime. So yeah, there's actually, I think, quite a lot of ideas that we would like to realize in the near future. So fingers crossed, it works out well.
That's good. Looking forward to your new activities and upcoming activities. And I have to say that this program that you managed with Jakub, it's called Coffee Talks, and it's like DTSE Talks. Of course, I like it. But I tried it twice now, and it's just really great. It's great to just take 30 minutes of your time and have a conversation with some random colleague. And sometimes you meet someone new. Sometimes it's a good time. It's a good opportunity to catch up with other colleagues, that you haven't managed to see since COVID started.
Yeah, maybe it's like what I like about it is that in Deutsche, we in Czech Republic here, but I believe like in Deutsche generally, we have like so many inspirative people. And when you are talking to them, you somehow like get at least like a different points of view on some issues, I would say, or just you can get inspired by them, their work, their life. It's like really cool to know these people. So
great. So you are doing promoting and coordinating the coffee talks. You're also kind of an event manager for your team because you're preparing all of these events. And what else do you do in Czech Republic, DTSE Czech Republic?
What I would mention is probably that I'm also part of the social media ambassador program. So I'm trying to focus actually on our department because we are growing and we are kind of hiring a lot of people. So we want to attract them on LinkedIn, let's say, because I think that our team life is pretty rich and has a lot to offer. So I'm trying to promote it also on LinkedIn, so everybody can see like what it looks like when we are part of the team. And yeah, just also like I'm trying to shed a bit more light onto what it's like to work in Deutsche Telekom Czech Republic, because I really like it. I like all the benefits, and I guess that's the main focus on when it comes to a social media ambassador. And
what helped you to get this energetic and effective? And what advice can you give to others who wants to be a little bit like you, or who wants to go in the similar direction as you?
I would say that it is like to be maybe even like bold and go even further. Like what I really like about Deutsche Telekom Czech Republic, or generally about Deutsche, is that it really supports people with their ideas. So every time I had some idea, I was like, maybe I should share it with somebody. And even though it was like, maybe, I don't want to say it was bold, but like maybe it was something that I wasn't that sure that it will get approved, I still shared, and usually I get the support. And I think that it's like important to say what you want to say and just talk about it and ask for feedback. That's also great. And what I also very appreciate about our team, because like my team leads are, I would say, the best in giving feedback. So I know that also like pushed me even further in my job. So if you don't get feedback, just ask for it. It's like really helpful, and it makes you see things that you probably wouldn't see on your own. And like I said, like be bold and don't get scared when not everything is working out for you, because there were days when I was not able to figure out some issues. But when I ask, for example, maybe another advice would be don't be afraid to ask for help, because when I asked for help, I always get the help. There is no no like a feeling that nobody is like giving me the impression that I am not good enough because I'm asking for help. It's the complete opposite. They are very supportive, helping me. So I always, in the end, I was always able to solve the issue, even though I felt like it won't be ever like solved by me. So yeah, just don't get scared when not everything is working out, and don't be afraid to ask for help, I would say.
Super. That's nice. Thanks for sharing your experience with me, Lucie, and thanks for sharing your motivations, your challenges, and also your advice to anyone who would like to be engaged and a bit influential in your work, no?
Yes.
Great. So
thank you
so much for being here, Lucie.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in to our new podcast series, the DTSErs, and listening to our guests' experience. All in all, it's great to provide the right environment for your employees where they can have the freedom and the support to start new project ideas. But it's also up to us employees to take the opportunities and get things done. Make sure to go to talks.dtse.group, subscribe to our podcast, and leave us a feedback.